GIOVANNI PAPINI, The Sin of God. It is I, God, in person, who speaks face to you, without scribes and without go-betweens. This time I speak not through the mouth of another, nor do I write with another's hand. I dispense with mouthpieces, I renounce messages, deny ambassadors. Toward you I have always maintained silence, though you know nothing of me, of my true thoughts, of my sufferings. You are ignorant. You know me only through the legends invented by man, but of me you know nothing. Not one word has reached from my heart to your heart. My profound will has never been revealed to you. There have come among you some who swore that they had been sent by me, who had ascended from heaven to reveal me to you and to save you in my name. They said, God speaks through my mouth. God dictated the words I have written down. I am inspired by God, possessed by God, guided by God, filled with God. They are all lying. Some said they had heard my voice in the solitary mountain tops, or in the middle of the desert, or through fiery flames. But believe me, in all that there is not one grain of truth. I have sent no one. I have not raised up in the midst of you even one who could speak in my name. I have dictated neither books nor laws. I have never made any covenant with any chosen people. If from time to time a prophet has arisen among you like a column of fire and has proclaimed that I myself had commanded him to speak, and that his words were my words, he either lied in order to exalt himself, or he deceived himself before he deceived you. If I had really wished to speak to you, would not I, the omnipotent, have chosen a surer means of doing so? Would I not have made your minds capable of understanding my own words? Why should I choose a Jewish carpenter to impart to you in dubious words my will, my commands, my secrets? And if I had done so, would I not have sent to you men more worthy of their mission and more fortunate? One of them, Moses, found a disobedient people who did not believe in him, and hardly had he gone from them when they began to adore the golden calf. The other, Jesus, was betrayed and crucified by his own people. The third, Paul, endured persecution and calamity almost unto his very end. And not one of them was able to convince all men of the truth of his message. Much blood and time was needed to keep it from being stamped out. And hardly had large numbers accepted it when dissension and strife broke out. And mankind was divided worse than before. And ambassadors of the same God declared war and exterminated each other. and every one of them spoke differently, raised different hopes and frightened with different terrors. Either all were liars, or I gave to each one diametric and opposed revelations. But why should I have done that? Perhaps because I, the immutable one, had changed my mind in the meantime? Or simply because of an evil pleasure to sow discord among mankind? I repeat to you, no one can say that he has been sent by me. Even he whom so many people believe to be my son, even that Jesus, who more than anyone else moved and steered your hearts and swelled your sinful pride with the fantasy of the redemption, even that Jesus was not sent by me. He is not my child, or rather he is my child just as all of you are my children. He has spoken in his own name, and his promises and his threats are not my promises nor my threats. His scars and mine are not the same. His flesh was mortal flesh, and the thoughts of his mind were earthly thoughts. Why do I speak today after this long silence? What moves me? The being who has nothing to say by means of words. Why do I speak to you now? To confess to you my faults and sorrows. To you who have denied me more often than Peter, and who have crucified me not on a wooden cross, but within your own evil hearts, not once, but in infinite numbers of time. I, speaking to you, I have never so degraded myself. My decision to do so will seem to you incredibly absurd. But there are reasons, and I shall tell them to you. You have believed for centuries, and even up to today, that I introduced myself into the uterus of a young Jewish woman in order to preach sermons and to suffer in this world under the guise of a carpenter of Galilee. The story is false, and even many among you have always denied it. But millions of people have firmly believed it is an immutable truth. And there are yet many who continue to believe in it without the least suspicion. I have told you already, you know nothing of me. All that is written about me in your books is like the confused and incomprehensible babbling of a child. And those who have understood me the least are those who have spent many years of their life trying to define me. The wisest among men were those who declared that they could say nothing about me. They called me the unspeakable one. I am he whom you do not know. Your ideas of reality are drawn from that miserable corner in which you drag out your short lives. And when you speak about me, your mind becomes giddy. You can only attribute to me everything that you not possess. That is to say, everything that you desire. But I am more than you can imagine. And yet I speak to you, and I want to tell you of myself. And I know that you will never be able to forget that which you will hear now for the first time. There is a human part in me that you can understand, just as there is a divine part in you. whether I have made you, or whether you have made me, whether I be your creator, or whether I be your creature. We are, in a way, brothers. Many times before have I tried to speak to you, but you have never understood. And those voices that come of your heart in the silence of the night, rising from the utmost depths of your soul, were there not attempts on my part to communicate directly with my creatures, without prophets and priests? But you have not listened to me. And because you are deaf and blind, I have been forced to become a scribbler of books. You may ask, but why do you speak to us now? After thousands of years, why do you feel the need to humble yourself to our level and speaking to us as if we were your brothers? Yes, this question weighs heavily upon me. It pains me to be thus unknown, so misunderstood. Have we the need of being better known by mankind? It is such a long time that I have been alone and remained silent. I cannot suffer longer without expressing my feelings. Do not your preachers speak of the divine grief and the sorrow of God because of your sins? But you believe me to be happy because I possess everything and I know everything. But I tell you, even I feel melancholy, sadness, and despair. And more than any of you, for a greater perfection implies a greater capacity for suffering. It is for this reason that I know infinite sorrows and horrors. But I am not as perfect as you imagine. My heart, like your weak human heart, is torn by that eternal vulture called remorse. Even I have sinned, and my sins are greater than yours, and the punishment, therefore, is harder. I confess myself before you in order to punish and justify myself. The roles will be changed. You will be my judges, and I shall beg your pardon. My greatest sorrow is that I never was born. I have had neither beginning nor origin. I owe my life to nobody. I cannot call anyone my father or my mother. And I have neither brothers nor sisters. There are no beings similar to myself who can be my friends. Therefore, I cannot gratitude or love anybody who has given me life. To him who has been kind to me, who has been my companion in the sad eternity. But because of this, I am alone, eternally alone. More lonely than the loneliest hermit on earth. An hermit at least has the company of the ravens in the sky and the ants in the sands. But I always was, and always shall be alone. Never shall I find even one soul to whom I shall feel the desire to approach and love him. I can only love that which has been created by me. And the love I feel for all my creatures is love of myself, a disguised egoism. And I feel such a desire to love, but I, who have known no father, no teacher, no lover, I have never loved and can never love. Perhaps you believe that I love mankind. No, I do not love you. I have never loved you. Are you not the most miserable particles of my visible body? The most unpleasant testimonials to my weakness and my ferocity? How could I love? I the cause, I the judge, I the executioner, my own little victims. Pity I may feel for you, the useless, tearless compassion, and nothing else. Am I not indeed 1,000 times more unhappy than you can be? I the eternally lonely one. You, who so often come to my feet to unburden your heavy heart and to beg for help and relief. See what he is to whom you come.